Hello and welcome. My name is Sia and I dance. I also believe that everybody dances, just some of us do it more often than others. Wherever you are on your dance journey, I'm glad you're here. Let's step in. Hello.
Hello.
I'm glad we could find a time to meet after Snowball, even though we talked during the Snowball.
Yes, we're not at Snowball right now, but we can pretend we are.
Yeah, or even not. It's amazing that we are not there. Time has passed, now it's work. It's even more snow than during Snowball.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy about that. And we're recording in your studio, but maybe you want to talk about it later. It's not your studio, but...
Yeah, it's a place where I teach improvisation, so... I think it made sense because I had some classes earlier today, and it's a nice and quiet area that works well for recording a podcast.
Perfect. No improvisation happening right now here.
Well, I mean, it's a conversation, right?
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I maybe made a typical mistake. Yeah. Yeah, we're talking right now. Okay, what do you want people to know about you before we start?
Oh, what do I want people to know about me? Well, I don't know who the listener is. I don't know what they need to know. But yeah, my name is Stefan. A name is a good thing to have. I live in Sweden, Stockholm, where I do a bunch of dancing. And as I mentioned before, I also teach improvisation. So that's improvised theater, but also other types of improvisation, sometimes for businesses or other organizations. And other types of art forms, some musicians, and now some stuff for dancers and public speakers and others.
Cool. And yeah, when I start thinking about it, so many things that we do is an improvisation.
Yeah, for sure.
It makes sense. Even, this we're doing right now.
It is, yeah.
Talking to a almost stranger. And of course, I've met you before, and we danced before. But I don't know so much about you.
Yeah, likewise. I mean, we are in the same community, so we have, as you said, run into each other and dance together, but there are so many people in the Stockholm community, so one thing to be grateful for.
For sure. Okay, we'll move to the first specific question. Why do you dance?
Yeah, so for me, I view dancing as a social thing. So to me, the social dances are very much at the core of this art form. I view it as another way to improvise together with another person or to play with another person, to connect with another person. So I know that a lot of people are viewing the dancing or the musical part of dancing as a core part of it, but for me, I could do without the music, but I could not do without the partner.
Okay, interesting. Because then it's the partner who makes it into an improvisation for you? Yeah,
I feel like I get way more inspiration from my follower that I dance with than from the music. And like part of it could be that I'm not that skilled with the music stuff. But also I feel like a lot of the time I just feel like I have stronger connection with the person that I'm dancing with rather than the pre-recorded music coming from the speaker or even from the live band, because it's going to be the same band playing for so many people. So I don't feel like there's this two-way communication that I can get from another dancer that I'm focused on and who's focusing on me.
True. But it's just different. I think it's not about the experience, it's just your focus and probably your background.
Yeah.
About this two-way communication. Of course, you can have it with musicians, probably.
Yeah, probably. I've seen definitely sometimes when it's been like a band playing and maybe like a tap dancer going up and you have like a back and forth thing. So I've seen that happen, and I would assume that when there is like a jam happening, or maybe in a competition or such, that I would assume that the musicians are adapting to what the dancers are doing, and probably the dancers are taking in way more than I'm able to. So I think there's probably that kind of like interplay or cooperation going on. I'm just not musically skilled enough to feel that so much, and also I'm not typically in situations where I get like the full attention of an entire band. I'll more often be on a crowded dance floor, being one of those 50 or 100 couples on the dance floor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just again, I don't think it's not about the skill, lacking the skill or having the skill. It's certainly your thing. It also makes me think about dance in a different way. Because for me, I would not be able to do without a partner, because that I find it much easier, especially as a follower, to follow the person. I would not be able to come up with movements all the time, just listening to music. And also I would explain it because I don't have that skill.
Do you think it's different with the roles?
I think so. I think if I was a leader, and I'm not, so now I'm just imagining, I probably would focus more on music. But that's, I think, for all the social dances. For Lindy Hop, I think it's more about this communication between the leader and the follower. So that makes sense to me. But I would imagine that it would be the other way. So it's fun to hear that, or very interesting, and for me new to hear it for you. It's more about actually the follower, and not the other way around, and not the music.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely the main source of inspiration. Like, she will give me something, and at least in the best dances, there are obviously also those dances where I might not be fully present, or where I feel like I'm struggling to connect with my dance partner. That happens for sure. But oftentimes I feel like I'm getting something, and that will be like the play of the dance.
Use as a base, and then you improvise on top of it.
Yeah, and then there's this little part, the logistics part of I mean, as a leader, you pick some directions and you select some moves, but that's such a small, I mean, in my opinion, that's probably like 5% of the dance. And 95% is like how it's being done, and how we play off of those things that happen inside of those logistical parts.
Yeah, cool. A nice perspective on it. We'll move on to the next question that is
Sure.
closer to what I do when I don't dance as a lighting designer, and probably a bit of a random question to you, but I don't know. Tell me one dance-related memory you have in which lighting, either artificial or natural, played a role.
Yeah, so I think given the location we are at right now, the improv theater where I sometimes host social dances, I recently held my 10th social dance here. And in the beginning, what I did was pretty much just invite people over, put a sign on the door, and have people arrive and dance, because there's a big wooden floor and a good sound system. But like maybe a year ago or something, I started thinking about like how can I do this better? And lighting was the thing that came to mind, because like the lighting is a bit boring. Here it's kind of like plain light bulbs, and you get very like, I don't know the wording for it. You probably have fancier and nicer words to describe it, so that the listeners at home can understand. But think regular light bulbs shining, and it illuminates the room, but it doesn't look very special.
Yeah, it's very flat white lighting.
Yeah.
From the same direction.
Yeah. So I came up with the idea of going to a store where I can purchase some like semi-transparent colored paper.
Yeah, like filters.
Yeah, not like
paper,
not like filters that are made for this. There is probably, I don't know where such things are purchased.
Found the good stuff anyway.
This is just regular paper that is a bit thin. So I purchased a whole bunch of that in colors like brownish, orange, and yellow, because those were, I thought warm colors would be nice, and also those were the colors that I've been using in the marketing for it. And I just kind of like taped that to the light bulbs, trying to keep a few centimeters of distance so it wouldn't catch fire. And I realized it looked really cool, because I think that was one of the things that made it feel more like a professional event, rather than just like coming to a venue that wasn't made for dancing and try to dance in it. Having the really warm lights made it feel more like an event. I also think warm lights goes well with dancing, and it makes the room feel like warmer and more inviting, and a bit more like, I guess, orange and yellow, and like it also gives associations to like fire in a way. I think it resembles candlelight a little bit. So yeah, it changed the whole atmosphere, I think. So that's definitely a thing that I just kept on doing afterwards.
I noticed that when you added that thing, of course.
Oh, you did. Cool. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense with your job.
Yeah, but I can comment on it later. But when I thought that it worked best is when there was still some daylight coming through the roof, because then it gets dark early. So normally the events are when it's already dark. But when there was this combination between the very cool daylight and the warm light coming from everywhere else, then it felt somehow more balanced.
Interesting.
But I can explain it more later, because otherwise everything becomes orange and it's difficult to see contrasts. And like with a camera, our eyes adjust and think that, oh, that's a new gray. That gets confusing. At least for me, I think people are differently sensitive to that. But when there is some sort of contrast, when there was with some daylight, then I think it was very nice, because you could still see that this is the white and this is a cozy, warm orange. So that worked well.
Yeah, I should probably explain for the listeners. There is like an opening in the ceiling. So this venue, you take like the stairs down, so it's sub-ground level. But in the middle of the dance floor, roughly, there is like a window in the ceiling going up to the like inner courtyard. So that's the daylight coming through from like one spot. So
very diffused and indirect and almost non-existent, but when it's there, it's good. yeah,
interesting. There's also a difference of people who know professional stuff versus me just like putting paper on light bulbs. I don't think about such things at all.
You still did. You thought about it and you made an effort of changing it, which is very nice.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But I didn't notice much of a difference from like early evening when there was still daylight compared to later. I think I was thinking about so many other things.
Oh, of course.
Hopefully focusing on my dance partners or something.
True.
But I guess it's also one of those things, like when you're interested in a thing, you will notice those things way more. So it makes sense that you would even when there's a lot of stuff going on, you will still pick up the changes in lighting in a way that I wouldn't.
Very naturally. And I think I even can be guilty in focusing on the lighting more on my dance partner every now and then, which I shouldn't. But I think that might happen, sadly.
I mean, it makes sense. My father used to like put up ceilings on construction sites, and he told me that whenever he would walk into a room, he would always like look up at the ceiling and see like the personality of the construction worker who put up this ceiling, because you can tell so much from a ceiling.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah.
I can guess it's probably the same with lighting and stuff like that.
Yeah. Maybe in 20 years I would be able to tell the personality of the person.
For sure.
Now it's just like one level, very shallow. Okay. Next question.
Yes.
Give one piece of advice to other dancers.
One piece of advice. It's gonna get probably a bit boring to just say have fun with it, but I think
depends. Maybe that's what you want to say, and that's an important message for someone to hear. It's okay. Yeah, perhaps. Like the way I'm thinking about dancing, as I said before, I view it more as a social thing. I'm not so concerned about dancing in a correct way. But I guess it all depends on what your goal with the dancing is, and the listener doesn't necessarily have the same goals as I do. No. They can still have fun. I guess regardless of the goal, even if you want to like perfect your dancing, that would probably be in service of you in the end having fun. So I guess whatever goals you have, don't lose track of the fun, because that would make it meaningless. Yeah, nice. I like that advice. Yeah, kind of made it into one coherent sentence also. That's nice. Yeah, that's good. Now I noticed that all of the advices that I got from other people who recorded recently, every time when I think, does this apply to life in general? It often does. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. About that. The next question is the question from the previous guest. Oh, interesting. Who I talked to at Snowball. She was the last person who I talked. I think it was 31st of December. Last night. Last night. Before the last night. How tired was this person when? Very tired. She was a teacher as well, so she was very tired. Oh. But she still was up for it and very energized. So she was excited to record. And her question was,
what is their next goal in their dancing? Do they have like a specific goal that they're working towards? What is the next thing that they're excited about and they would like to work on? We actually almost talked about that, because they said that people have different goals, and maybe some people listening don't have the same goal as you do. Next goal, I guess there's always an ongoing goal of like having more fun with the things and being able to pick up more things from the person I'm dancing with. But I think a goal should be it should be possible to state it in a way that you know when you have reached the goal, because otherwise it's going to be just a moving goalpost that you can never reach. And where's the fun in that? Yeah. So like one thing I'm thinking about is I have started to compete sometimes in dancing, which is quite a bit of fun. I mean, I've done so much improvised theater. So I do like having a crowd watching me do stuff that I don't know what's going to happen. And I can sort of get a little bit of that when I'm competing. It would be fun to reach one of those strictly finals. Okay. So I guess that's a goal for my mix and match. Competitions. I have been in one final in Estonia,
but it had a different format. So I still think it's valid to have the goal of having the the spotlight thing where you need to keep track of like going in and doing 16 eighths and 8 eighths or whatever it is to the music. So yeah, that's a concrete goal. We'll see if or when I end up there.
Who knows? Maybe by the time I publish the episodes, you already got there.
Oh, then I will need to ask you to take a lot of time to
I
edit
can do
this.
that. I recorded quite a lot of episodes, so by the time...
Oh, so you have a backlog.
Yes. So you'll have... it depends on how ambitious I get, because now I want to publish them maybe every other week. But if I go monthly, then you have until May. So
May. Oh, well, that will be... I mean, I don't know when I'm going to be able to do my next festival.
No
will
pressure.
Probably be Tallinn, and that will be in May. So it might be right there on the border.
Okay, cool.
I'll feel the pressure.
No, but when you'll be listening to you, then you can just see where you are in this.
Yeah, or maybe I can just tell you to
pressure from my
keep
side.
postponing this episode.
Yeah, maybe.
up until...
Oh, please. No pressure. But it's fun to hear your goal. Again, for me, it would be something completely different. But that's where you are heading and what you want to achieve.
Yeah, at least right now. I mean, it's not like a big, serious goal, but more like,
Very
this
concrete.
would be a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be too sad if I don't reach it within a short amount of time.
No.
Because as I said before, it's definitely still the fact that social dancing is at the core of what I appreciate about the art form.
Exactly. And you enjoy the process, so you'll be having fun on the way.
Yeah,
regardless.
for sure.
Yeah. Next thing is that you will ask a question to the next guest. And I don't know who this person will be.
Yeah, interesting.
Very open.
Yeah, and so I haven't really formulated this into like one crisp, one sentence question, but I'm thinking sometimes about the economics in lindy hop that we have. I mean, we're both part of the same Stockholm community where we have lots and lots of really high level dancers, many of whom are at like world-class top level.
Yeah.
But it seems to me that it takes so much to be able to make a living off of dancing lindy hop and teaching classes, where I'm trying to like calculate how many classes you would have to teach to get like a regular salary.
Yeah.
And even if you are a very high level, it's really difficult. And I've also had conversations sometimes with teachers who are traveling, basically going from festival to festival to festival. And it still seems to be really difficult.
Oh.
So basically, my question would be, given the situation we are in which it's very hard to make a living off of lindy hop, what do you think is the next step? Do you think that this is a problem and something that should be changed? Or is it just a part of how dancing should work? And if it is a problem, what do you think would be the solution? Because I sometimes think about how people can be like top 30 in the world. And if you're top 30 in the world in any other category, like top 30 hockey player, top 30 software developer, top 30 surgeon, or whatever, your life situation would be so much different than dancing lindy hop.
That's very true. Good question. Very different one.
Cool.
Thank you so much for finding the time.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, for hosting me in this space as well. Now when it's quiet.
Yeah, I guess it's a bit unusual to have it so quiet here. It's either dancing going on or theater stuff. So
yeah, perfect. Next time I'm here, it's probably lindy hop.
Most likely, yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening in. Now, ask yourself, just for a moment, why do you dance? And why are you not dancing right now? If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with fellow dancers. Okay, now the phrase you've been all waiting for. See ya dancing.